It is far more fun to die on your sword than to die on someone else's.
Resolve. Resolve says I will, two of the most powerful words in the language. Benjamin Disraeli said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake its existence on its purpose. Shortly put, I'll do it or die.
I knew this man that was always finding fault with his employer. He was constantly bucking the system and challenging the policies. The management was very good to him. Other people in the department, they loved the company, but he always found something to complain about. They had to be at work at 8 in the morning. They parked in a big garage and had to walk. His attitude was, as long as he was on the property at 8, that he was there on time. They couldn't do anything about it. Well, nobody else thought that, but he kept doing it his way, being contentious. Several years later, he was let go. He lost a prominent position. He went to work for another company and did the same thing. He kept challenging the policies, being hard to get along with. One day I heard this man had not only been fired, but security was escorting him out of the building. He wasn't even allowed back on the property. What am I saying? A bad attitude will follow you around. You can change jobs, think other people are the problem, but sometimes we have to look inside and see if we're the problem. Do I have a sour attitude? Am I being hard to get along with? Am I focused on the negative, being critical? This man was talented, he was smart, had a big future in front of him, but he lived nose down. His attitude took him in the wrong direction. It wasn't something big, a simple adjustment, and it would be a different story. He would be at another level. What direction is your attitude taking you? In your marriage, in your relationships, are you kind, respectful, fun to be around? In your career, are you positive, being your best, helping others? Or do you need to make an adjustment? Don't wait till it's too late, till the relationship comes to an end, till the company says they don't need you anymore. Make the changes now. Get rid of anything you know that's holding you back. Being negative, finding fault, that old attitude doesn't smell good. It's going to taint you everywhere you go.
Best definition of resolve I got from a little junior high girl, Foster City, California. I'm going through some words one day. I got to this one and I asked the kids, who can tell me what resolve means? Some didn't know, some tried. Interesting. The last one was the best. Little girl about 3 rows back, she said, I think I know, Mr. Owen. I said, what? She said, I think resolve means promising yourself you will never give up. I said, that's the best I've ever heard. She's probably giving seminars somewhere today, right? I mean, that's the best I've heard. I asked the kids, how long should a baby try to learn how to walk? How long would you give your average baby? Before you say, hey, enough's enough. No. Any mother in the world would say, you're crazy. My baby is going to keep trying what? Until. What a magic word. I want you to write it down. Until. Promise yourself you'll read the books until your skills change. You'll go to seminars until you get a handle on it. You'll listen to it until it makes sense. You'll go for it until you understand it. You'll practice it until you develop the skill. Never give up until, however long that is. Step by step, piece by piece, book by book, word by word, apple by apple. Walk around the block, walk around the block. Go for it. Don't miss the chance to grow. And resolve that you'll pay the price until you learn, change, grow, become. Then you'll discover some of life's best treasures when you pay that price.
Where I got my work ethic from was the hours I had to spend learning this. When you sit down and you're not smart, and you have a disability, and you still want to be in the top of your class, I didn't want to just get by. When I realized that I can learn through hard work, and I can beat the valedictorian in school, but I got put in 10 hours more a day than he does. You know what kind of strength comes from that? When you're sitting down, that guy that valedictorian studied for an hour, and you know I caught you, and I am dumb. but I have the work ethic to catch you. That's where David Goggins got really invented.
Yeah.
Was at a kitchen table with 20 spiral notebooks that were empty. And then 3 months later,
Down. Yeah.
they were full. And when you can go through that, I still have them in my storage unit. You go through these spiral notebooks of your life, and you realize this is how I learned. This is unbelievable. There's no miles. It's not about the miles. It's that, having a discipline every day to say, for me to learn this one math problem, it's gonna take me 10 hours.
Wow.
And that's where and you realize through hard work, you can outwork anybody, no matter how badass they are. But that's the part people don't want to dive into.
When you're down and out, first thing people do is blame it on everybody else but themselves.
So true.
When you start taking responsibility, you have a little different outlook. You also have the responsibility of turning things around. When I started Paul Mitchell, I was homeless once again, totally by accident. And I started the company out of the backseat of my car.
How old were you at that time? 37 or something?
That was 34, 35 at that time.
So you were homeless at 34, 35 again.
Yeah.
And what was this series of events that led to that second time?
It was just that we had money set up, $500,000. We needed to start the company with that kind of money. And the day I was ready to start, go down to the bank and get the money, and my partner, the hairdresser, Paul Mitchell, flew over from Hawaii with his girlfriend, and we were ready to get the money and get going and get started. I'd left everything I did. My relationship wasn't working out, so I left the house, plenty of money for many months with her, had a few $100 in my pocket. Took the used car, which is 20 years old, but a decent one, okay, down the hill to get the money.
Wow.
I was going to check into an efficiency, it all set up. The money never came in.
No way.
Never. The guy changed his mind. 1980, 81.
Yeah.
Inflation in the United States is 12.5%. Interest rates, if you could get a loan, prime rate, 17%.
Wow.
We stayed in line to get gasoline, and interest and unemployment was 10.5% in the United States. The guy said, your hostages are still in Iran, which they were at that time. He says, is this a terrible? I'm sorry, it's the last minute. No. So it's a matter of, what are we gonna do?
It never bothered me if people disagreed with what I thought, as long as I felt I knew the facts. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things I don't know a thing about. I just stay away from those. So I stay within what I call my circle of competence. You know, Tom Watson said it best. He said, I'm no genius, but I'm smart in spots, and I stay around those spots. Well, I try and stay around those spots, and I just don't have a problem if somebody says, you're wrong on something. I go back and look at the facts, and I think that really is much more important, frankly, than having a few points of IQ or having an extra course or two in school or anything of the sort. You need emotional stability.